Hey guys, it's me! Back for another tip, trick, tutorial, video, helping you out. Cricket. Okay, so I actually did a video yesterday about making a t-shirt. It ended badly. My phone died. I hit the wrong button and stopped it, so I made it in two parts, and it was just, yeah. So today we're gonna do pillowcases, and I'll make a t-shirt video a different day. So as you can see, I have the pillowcase. The customer actually bought the pillowcase. They're like a nice velvety material, so I'm not gonna use my heat press because I'm worried about damaging the material, so I'm gonna use my actual iron. So, and if you don't have a heat press, you can use your iron. I've used my iron for many, many years until I got my heat press. So I have a Teflon sheet down because my desk gets beat up with paint and glue and epoxy, so I don't want to get that on my pillowcase. So I'm going to lay this down. Where's the zipper at? Okay, up here. And my desk actually has like a little notch in it because I have the desk that flips up. And so I kind of try and base the center of my thing, my project, in where this notch is at. Try to get this to lay flat a little bit. Okay, so I have this little tiny laser level from Walmart to hang pictures on. So I usually lay it down, take my mat and make sure that the line is straight, because that'll help you in the end. Trying to put something down and it not be crooked. I've had a couple boo-boos with the crookedness, so. And sometimes it's harder to see it on a project because of just the way it's shaped. But it gives me a flat line. I'm going to take the name. So this is heat transfer vinyl. This is different than the regular vinyl that we use for the cup. That's regular. There's permanent, non-permanent. You'll hear, 651 or 351. That's, permanent, not permanent, and stuff like that. So this is heat transfer vinyl. So when you cut this, instead of it being, I have a piece. Instead of it being face up like we did on the cup, you see how it's kind of shiny and the back is kind of dull? You're going to want to cut this side, the back side. So you lay it face down instead of face up. You always mirror your image to reverse, because if you cut it face up, it's going to be backwards. So you always do it reverse. So always mirror your image. So I'm going to lay the name down. And I have my ruler to double check that it's in the middle. It's about 5 inches from the end. And this one, I think it needs to go over to the right. This is 3 inches, so yeah. I'm going to move it over a little bit to the right. Sorry for the tediousness of this, but it's just to make sure that it's pretty well even. You don't want something to come up crooked, especially for an order. About 4.5. Still a little off, so I'll move it just a little bit more over It's always hard to see it. Make sure it's not crooked. Because sometimes it'll slant. And that's what I'm trying to figure out if I'm slanting or not. I don't think so. Like I said, I'm going to use my regular household iron because I'm worried about melting or burning the fabric because it is like a velvet feel. So I don't want to do that. Okay, that's about even. And I do have, if I can find it, a lot of craft stuff. So I do have, this is heat transfer tape. So to hold your image in place. So that way it doesn't move on you and it won't melt to your fabric. And you cut it. So that way it won't move on me, because I've had that happen. I've gone to lay it down and iron it and it flat out moved on me and ruined the whole project. If you do mess up on your project, the trick to fix it is to flip your shirt, pillowcase, whatever, inside out and iron from the back, because it'll release the vinyl and you can peel the pieces off. It may leave like a glue residue. There's things you can do to get the glue residue off, but sometimes you just have to scrap the whole project and start over. And I've done that before. So like I said, I am not perfect. I'm learning every day new techniques and stuff. I follow a lot of Facebook Cricut groups. There's a lot of women in there and men that help out with, you know, tips and tricks of things that they've learned. Lots of YouTube videos. I'm always learning something new. So I can't take credit for a lot of things that I do because I learned it from someone else. So now I, you know, or I'll see a picture somewhere and I'll want to try the design. So I've done that before, but usually I end up failing and I got to figure out a way to fix it. So, okay, so we got this pretty well down. Peel this up just a little bit so it's smooth. I gotta have music or something on. I can't just sit in silence. It drives me crazy. Okay, so as you see, it's taped on. So I'm gonna double check by looking at it. Of course, the tape doesn't want to stick. Do another layer of tape. I'm gonna double check by holding it upright to make sure it doesn't look crooked. I've done that before. I've made like a t-shirt or something that looks good this way because it's right above my face. But I'll go to hang it up and it's just ever so slightly slanted or something and I'm like, oh man. And then you gotta fix it. So looks pretty straight. So like I said, the laser level will help you out a lot. I didn't use it for quite a while and finally one day I was like, I need a laser level. Okay, so now I should have already had my iron plugged in, but I don't. So I'm gonna plug it in for just a second, get it warm. Now I'm gonna turn my setting down to like polyester or synthetic. I'm gonna do in between silk and wool and synthetic because you don't want it super super hot because I'm like I said, I'm afraid to melt this velvet. Now a t-shirt I do cotton all day long in the hot temperature because it helps stick it. And so a good thing to figure out or to know, I guess, is, you know, you could iron on your shirt and it looks good to you, looks like it's stuck, but a couple washes through the washer and boom, it's off. So the way to figure out or to make sure that it's on there all the way is if you can see the fabric underneath your vinyl, like kind of melted in there, that means that you got it on good enough. I always tell my customers to wash their shirts inside out and don't dry it. If you do dry it, like dry it really low, or I just hang dry mine. But my husband, with his shirt, I had made a work shirt for him, a couple of them, and he wore them every single day to work, and I washed them every single night, and they lasted like a good 10-12 months before it started peeling off. But that's an everyday wash. That's not like I wear my shirt and then I wear it like 2 weeks later. It's an everyday wash. It lasted about about a year, and I dried it in the dryer too. What shoes did you?
Oh,
you got money stuck to your feet. Did you eat crackers?
I ate them.
Do you want more crackers? Okay. Can you go back in the living room and I'll bring them to you? Go on. Here, will you take them, Regan? Here, what? Yeah, here. Take these to Regan. Okay, here. I see. Can you take these to Regan, please? Ready? Okay, take these to Regan, please, okay? What do you say?
Thank you.
Love you. A kiss. Kisses. All you do is flat out ditch me. I asked for a kiss and she flat out ditched me. Okay. So it's pretty warm. So I have Teflon sheets. Teflon are pretty thick. That's what I have on the backing. For your outer side, because you never want to iron just on your vinyl. What, baby? Hold on a second, okay? You never want to iron just on your vinyl because you will melt the outer sheet. So this is just parchment paper. Parchment paper is super easy. And the main thing is like pressure. You want pressure down. So it's pretty low still. So I'm just gonna iron it on real good. And if you're doing different layers, like on a t-shirt, and I can show you that later in a different video of layering, you want to do just a couple seconds, like 10 to 15 seconds on. Okay, so I can see already that it's not done enough because it's still stuck to the transfer sheet. So I got to do a little bit more. But if you're doing layers, do the pressure for like 10 to 15 seconds and then take your transfer sheet off and then lay your next layer on top. And then do that for like 10 to 15 seconds, because if you do too long, then you melt the bottom layer. And you can see the glue behind it sticking out on the shirt and all kinds of stuff. It's not a great look. Yeah, the biggest thing is pressure. You want the pressure. Now my heat press, some have locking lids and some don't. Mine does not have a locking lid, and so I have to push really hard on it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm peeling it off. I'm trying to hold this, do it one-handed. Now, we'll see. See if I got all of them enough. I need like a tripod or something. This is hard to do one-handed. Okay, so I can see that some of them did not pressure down enough. Okay, so I'm gonna lay that back down. I'm gonna do a little bit more before I peel the rest of this off, because you can end up ruining the sheet. Lay down flat. There's a wrinkle. Okay, I got the wrinkle out. There we go. That's the problem with that. You don't want to, you got to be careful because you don't want to wrinkle anything because then you'll iron the wrinkle in there. Okay, so I need more pressure on this end. And then once you're done doing everything that you need to do, you just go over it again without the transfer sheet, but you're still using the wax paper or the parchment paper or your Teflon sheet. Excuse you, girlfriend. Trinity, can you go in the other room, please? We think we're cats around here. Cats and dogs. Trinity, can you go in the other room, please? Trinity, Nicole. And sometimes, like, the outer end... Okay, so my A did not stick. I will show you. My A did not stick, so I do have to lay that back down. Girlfriend, you gotta go in the other room, please. So I don't want to risk peeling it off and ruining it. So I'm gonna press it again, but the other letters are stuck on pretty good. So we're gonna do the I and the A a little bit more. Pressure is good. So my O is pretty good. L, I, V, I, oops, hot iron. Okay, so they stuck enough to where I could pull the sheet off. But if you look, this is still not down all the way. So this is where the process comes in of where you iron it just a little bit more with the parchment paper on top or your Teflon sheet on top. Because it's easier with no parchment or with no transfer sheet on because it's a thinner layer. So now we're going to go back over everything. And if your table is too hard for you to reach, you can do it on your floor. Some women I know actually stand on their iron. I don't stand on my iron. Okay, so I usually just go back and double check and make sure that like nothing's peeling up at all. And if you see, I don't know if you can see real close or not, you can see the pillowcase underneath the vinyl. And that's how you know, focus. That's how you know that you've ironed it enough, because you can see the material has bonded to the pillowcase. Or the vinyl, I'm sorry, the vinyl. So I'm still gonna do it once more over just to be safe. And if you need to, take the tip of your iron. What's the matter?
I had a cracker in my dress and Trinity
Okay, can we please go in the other room and I'll get you guys a pack of crackers in just 1 second? Please. So the tip of your iron can help you with like outer edges, corners, small pieces where the big part of your iron can't get it. I keep bumping this. Oops, again. So I use the tip of my iron to get the edges real good. I also have a mini iron. It's a little tiny iron. This. I use this for when I do shoes and little small areas and stuff. I do know like you can use your heat press for all kinds of stuff. Onesies are hard to do on the heat press because of the way the seams and stuff are. It doesn't let you get enough pressure on the heat press for the onesie. So oh, what happened? Check it one more time. Looks like everything's pretty well bonded. Okay, so there you have it. Pillowcase with a name on it. This can be washed. Like I said, I wash it inside out and hang dry or lay flat to dry. And there you go. I hope I helped someone out today to where if they were kind of unsure about doing something, this helped them go, it's not that hard, and jump the gun and do it. So I will come back to you with a different video of tips and tricks and whatever else to do something else. I have a couple projects in the works, so maybe I'll do a video of one of those so that way you can see what I'm doing and follow along with the process and go from there. So you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.